right, everybody. It's another episode of the Reserve Man Podcast. I'll take the crown. I got with me GP.
What's happening?
Shagari.
Yo.
What's up, Stan?
Boy, what's good?
Shout out for National Minority Mental Health Awareness Month.
Get checked out if you need to.
We gonna talk about the racist Troy Middleton letter.
Oh.
Somehow this is HBCU versus PWI again.
As always.
We gonna talk about glorifying quote-unquote ghetto living, UFO Day, NBA free agency, and so much more right after this.
You know your credit score bad. I'm not gonna lie to you on the Starbucks page. That's solid quality time. Right. Why is Steve Harvey still writing books? Wait a minute. Like, if I want you, I ain't taking you to Waffle House at 4 a.m. Bullshit. Hey, look, I care about you. We going to Waffle House.
Yo, man, we have a great show for you today. We're going to be talking about some interesting things. Fellas, what's up, man? What's going on?
What's good?
Man, what's happening?
What you doing in your DMs, GP?
La-di-da-di.
Man, I don't know what y'all talking about, man. I'm just out here chilling.
Alright, yeah.
Cake
big
Monster.
chilling.
Just chilling, bro.
By the way, shout out to National Minority Mental Health Awareness Month.
Yep.
Yes.
You know, check on y'all friends.
Please do.
And
Check
your
on your
family.
strong friend. Check on your weak friend. Check on your middle of the road friend. Check on everybody.
Yeah, no doubt.
Everybody.
Yep. You don't know what nobody's going through, you know. So
Especially you in them DMs. What you going through?
shit, man.
I'll pay your rent.
You single and you're doing your thing. I know.
I'll cook your dinner too.
I don't even know what y'all talking about, man. I'm just out here recording this
Paying rent
podcast.
and cooking dinner?
I'm just out
I
here.
was say, what has the world come to?
Well, you know me.
You
Y'all,
making,
now one thing y'all know.
you making tacos?
Hey, one thing y'all
I
know.
made tacos today.
One thing y'all know. I ain't
Not
paying-
them tacos.
Now y'all know I ain't paying nobody bills. I ain't tricking. I ain't doing nothing. I ain't made tacos in a minute, man. I might treat somebody to some tacos, man. We'll see.
Not them tacos from back in the day, bro.
Hey, them tacos was good, man. tripping.
Tacos or sloppy joes.
I never had a complaint about my tacos.
And let's
Just keep it moving.
Yeah,
GP
man.
with the terrible tacos.
let's dive right
Y'all
into it.
never ate no tacos for me. I don't know how y'all clowning my tacos.
Based on presentation, I wouldn't.
Oh, yeah.
So
Alright.
you've all heard about the Troy Middleton racist letter about keeping Negroes out of
Boy, you
athletics.
had too much of that crown.
Don't stop it, man. Let's keep
No,
it rolling.
keep rolling.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't stop it.
Well, before we dive into it, one of y'all brothers read the letter.
You got it up? Alright.
You got it up, brother.
I got it up. Well, first, for those in the Baton Rouge area who may not be familiar with the name Middleton, the Troy Middleton, the name on the LSU library. I know people at LSU definitely know it, but I even know people at Southern and BRCC who come on to LSU's campus and go to their library. They should know that name. So there was a letter that came out. When was that? Yesterday or the day before?
Day before, maybe.
And it was a reply, I think, to the chancellor at the University of Texas in 1961, and it was from Dr. Troy Middleton. And I'll just read the letter. It says, "Dear Harry, I have your inquiry of October 25th pertaining to integration on the LSU campus. Though we did not like it, we accepted Negroes as students. Therefore, they are permitted to occupy rooms in dormitories and take their meals in university dining halls. We have had a limited number occupy rooms, and at no time has a Negro occupied a room with a white student. We keep them in given areas and do not permit indiscriminate occupancy, and thus far we have had no problems. Our Negro students have made no attempt to attend social functions, participate in athletic contests, go in the swimming pool, etc. If they did, we would, for example, discontinue the operation of the swimming pool.
Damn.
Since we have not had a Negro request that he be permitted to participate in athletics, we, of course, have not had to make a decision. If one should apply between now and February 1st, 1962, the date of my retirement, I think I could find a good excuse why he would not participate. To be specific, LSU does not favor whites and Negroes participating together on athletic teams. Best wishes, sincerely, Troy H. Middleton, president of LSU.
You can't give the date of the letter.
October 27th, 1961.
Okay. So, October 27th, you said 1961.
Yep.
Clearly, this type of, his opinion on the matter is disgusting and repulsive, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But to your point, is 57 years old, going 58, going on 58, that you can't be surprised
All right.
that something like this is going to surface.
I'm not surprised, but I do think going forward, it's not a shock to me that he felt like that, but seeing it on paper and having it documented on paper, you got to take his name off the library. You got to.
I mean, I don't. I'm okay if they take his name off the library. I'm good with that.
The reason I don't think that's going to happen is because
They're supposed to tear that one down anyway.
there's other documented evidence that he was clearly a racist, and he didn't necessarily care for black people. So it's not like it's necessarily new. Now, if this catches maybe national headwinds, then I can see.
I think it is because
I think it's
as
one
a,
of those.
it's a thing to where even the activists
The Advocate posted the editorial from another guy. NOLA.com didn't post nothing. WAFB didn't post nothing.
So I think
Of course they
they don't want to. LSU, they in LSU pocket. They're
course
trying to
they
lose
do.
some press passes for making waves. They're not trying to get into that trouble. But all right, so say some activist decides to make a big deal about it, and they go get a black athlete on board, and the black athlete is like, I don't feel comfortable being on a team where it was known that they didn't want black athletes, and now black athletes are. If somebody take it to a black athlete and make a big deal about it in that way, that black athletes make up 80% of LSU's stardom, then it's gonna make headways and it's gonna come off the library. If black athletes be like, nah, y'all gotta take that down, guess what? It's coming down.
They're never gonna do that.
Yeah.
For the same reason that they wasn't doing anything.
They wouldn't ban that flag for
Yeah,
Collins.
yeah. They didn't care anything about that flag.
That flag is banned now though.
Nobody's gonna risk their potential future career in the NFL over a local college issue.
Right.
Now, that doesn't mean they shouldn't. They, for the betterment of the race and the rest of the students coming after.
It would have
But
to be
they're
somebody
not
who's already
going to.
retired or somebody who's in the NFL currently. Like, it can't be nobody.
If they're not playing there at LSU and not just playing but making a difference, then that's the whole point.
Well, I think it might be just as effective if you got a
But-
person who like played at LSU and was a big name at LSU to come back and say something
Shaq.
about it. Oh yeah, if Shaq said something
Take
about
my-
it, that'd be
take
a
my
big
statue-
deal.
Take my statue down.
But let's get to the heart of the issue. Because honestly, I read the letter and I was like, man, that was only 57 years ago.
Right.
And then I moved on. Like,
Right.
I didn't give it a second thought. I didn't lament and be like, I can't believe I went to that school.
Right.
Like, I didn't care. Until I started seeing all of these. Thank God, see, this is why I went to HBCU. And they still feel like that.
Well, let's be clear. You know what I'm saying? If you went to HBCU, you didn't go to HBCU because of a letter that somebody wrote like 50 years ago.
Let me finish, man.
My bad, man. But I just had to get this out. I'm sorry. So if you really think about it, if you went to a PWI, that is a older PWI at that, there's a good chance that there's going to be some type of racism in their history. Like you knew that going into it.
Because you had to fight to get it desegregated in the first place, so you knew that it was racism there and that you weren't wanted there.
Well, I'm not saying that nobody should have an issue, or nobody should be like a little disappointed with the letter. But I mean, for people to be like, that's why I went to HBCU. I think that's ridiculous to me.
Go ahead, finish.
Say your stuff, Harry.
Are you finished?
Yeah, clearly, yeah.
Okay. My point is, I thought that it was ridiculous that, given this whole situation, this turned into once again the HBCU versus PWI debate. It was totally unnecessary.
Right.
You didn't need this letter to justify why somebody went to whatever college of their choosing. It's not unusual that somebody in the position that Troy Middleton was in 1961 would feel this way.
Right.
And if you're out there and you feel like that this letter from 1961 is a reason why students should not go to LSU today, then where do you work? How long have they been in business? Are you going to quit your job?
Blacks shouldn't be lawyers because at one time blacks wouldn't have made it to the bar, especially in the South.
At one time,
blacks shouldn't be doctors.
Blacks was only 3/5 of a person, and lawyers did that.
Blacks shouldn't be engineers.
And that was considered good at that point.
Blacks shouldn't do anything prominent because of racism.
No, I won't say. I won't bring it down to profession.
Yeah.
I would say a corporation, because black people.
Oh, you can break it down to professional.
I disagree.
All right. Professions where you had to be admitted to a bar, some certain like the medical groups and all that. It was.
But back then you still had people becoming doctors.
But my point is, if you work for any particular institution, corporation that has been around a while, say longer than 40 years, then it has been impacted by racism.
Right.
People that branded that were racist.
Right.
Our state.
Right.
Our country.
Right.
That's just what it is.
Right.
So, I mean, are you going to quit your job?
Are you going to stop living in the country?
Are you going to stop living in America? Like, yes, I understand. You went to HBCU and you're proud of that.
Right.
I went to law school at HBCU.
Right.
And I'm very happy with the law school I went to. I'm proud of the education I got. And that's wonderful. But that doesn't mean that you should demean my experience, because I didn't have a racist experience at LSU. That wasn't what it was for me.
Right.
I don't feel like I'm missing anything essential by going to LSU.
Right. I mean, what I always take from when we get to these debates and people question why certain black folks go to PWIs, I always go down, okay, so what was the point of a lot of the civil rights movement? The point was to integrate schools and everything else.
Yeah.
So were we supposed to fight for integration and then not attend the schools?
And be like, nah, I don't want it.
Just
playing. Psych.
Sorry, MLK. You died for nothing.
Right. So I mean, don't get me wrong. I still think that it's important for us to maintain our HBCUs, for black people to go to our HBCUs.
Absolutely.
But at the same time, I'm not gonna hate on any black person that's getting an education somewhere. It doesn't matter. They go to a PWI, they at a junior college, they at a HBCU. To me, it doesn't matter. As long as you're getting an education, that's what we all strive for. So, it just baffles me when people.
And that's the essential part of it.
Right.
The essential part of it is being able to get the tools you need to go out and accomplish what you need to in life. It's not about just what school you went to, what fraternity or sorority you were a part of.
Right.
All of that is,
It's just people just want to be mad about something. You know what I mean? Because people, and then they want to pick and choose of what they're mad at. So we live in Baton Rouge, obviously. So some of the people that's commenting on this is like that's saying, I'm glad I went to HBCU, went to Southern.
Right.
And I don't have a problem with going to Southern. I went to Southern. But, you know, I Googled some things. I'm looking at the history of the University of Georgia with racism, and I'm seeing them having all kind of blackface in the yearbook, Confederate flags on campus and all this, that, and other. But yet, Southern University football team plays on the AstroTurf or new turf that was paid for by the University of Georgia, and that was cool. they accepted the turf,
Right.
you know.
Right.
And don't get me wrong, I applaud Georgia for graciously donating that turf, especially after what's the guy name got injured in the football game. So that was a class act. But I guess my point is, if you're gonna be mad at all of it. These white institutions have a history of racism, and that's just what it is. Right. You know, now
this country,
you know, it's what it is. I'm not saying celebrate the racism. And if LSU wants to take the name off the library, I'm cool with it. If they don't, I'm cool with it too. Right. You know, just I don't know. I don't think it's that big of a deal.
Because I mean, they can take, like I said, I have no issue if they take the name off the library. I'm like, go ahead, take the name off the library. But at the end of the day, are you going to change every single name
I'm going to say,
on every single building?
Say the same thing I always say when we come up on these type of issues, which is, okay, yes, we have a letter in this situation.
Right.
Well, you're not the only one.
Right. Everybody.
I guarantee you, especially in the South, but also in other places. He's not the only one that felt like that.
I feel differently about it. I think because he was the president of the university, he was such a prominent role of the university.
But Shag,
and to have that letter,
anybody,
it got to come off.
Anybody with a name on a building is a prominent figure at LSU.
I know that, but I'm saying, we don't have no open letter. We don't have no letter documented from everybody.
But my point is,
and because the LSU black athlete is so important to LSU football and the success of LSU, I think it's got to come down because you got it in writing that we try to keep them from coming. And now this is the success of your program. Now
it's already been documented that he was a racist.
Okay, but
so it's been documented. The fact that a letter came out, I don't see them just changing.
What was it documented before? It said that he tried to keep athletes out.
No, it's that he's a racist. Yeah. That he was a racist.
So you can refute somebody being a racist. They can say I'm not a racist or blah blah blah.
There's multiple.
I got a question.
Pieces that point to him being a racist.
So I just want to know your opinion on this. So not to rehash old stuff, but like the Confederate statues in New Orleans.
Okay.
That people are like spending money to like take down. Now everybody's driven in New Orleans. The roads in New Orleans are terrible.
Right.
What do you think they should focus the money on? Taking down these statues or fixing these roads first?
Now, what I'll say to that is, with the Confederacy, that was a treasonous time. So you were a traitor to your own country.
Agreed.
So anything with that, I'm totally in agreement with taking that down.
How much does
but even if the Confederacy didn't exist, you still had racist people. Like even if the South never succeeded, you still would have had racist people. I mean, that's just part of this country's history.
Right.
But with the Confederacy, they were traitors to their own country. So I don't know any other country that would allow treacherous, treasonous type things
and call it history.
Let statues be put up and everything. Like, think about it, man. You're not gonna see that in England. You're not gonna see that in one of these countries like Iran or something like that. You're not gonna see that in Russia or China. They ain't about to be having no treasonous people.
Why you think about it? Do they have in England? Do they have people in England that fly the original 13 colonists and call it history?
In the 13 colonies, they don't fly no English flag. I know that.
No, but I'm saying
I tell you what. You ain't seeing people rolling around with swastikas in Germany.
Right. I mean, that's true. I agree.
And if you do, they're going to take it as a serious issue.
I mean, I agree
because of their history.
I agree with all those points. All I'm saying is, if I'm a New Orleans resident, I would rather the roads be fixed first. Don't get me wrong. I want the statues to come down. But if I had to pick where to spend some money.
But the statues it ain't costing that much money.
How much does it cost to take a statue down?
Like, I mean,
not as much as it costs to put up.
Yeah, the issue ain't the issue in the world ain't them taking the statues down. It's other stuff where they could be taking money from other things to take care of the roads.
Okay.
The statues, it's not material enough from a financial standpoint to Yeah. Now, don't get me wrong. I do think that there's a limit at some point. You gotta reach a cap, like, because if you just call because literally you almost call almost everything from a historic standpoint, New Orleans racist.
Well, if you think about it, like they still got Lee High School,
Look, man.
Robert E. Lee Drive, and all this, that, and other.
We in Louisiana, 1961. Throw a rock, hit a racist. Let's move on, guys. I mean, like I said, throw a rock, hit a racist. That's the way of the world in that time, And it wasn't just in Louisiana. It was, it was people that felt like that
Everywhere in the South.
It's part of Mississippi.
Outside the South. It was people that felt like that in the North.
Even Mississippi with their Confederate flag on their state flag.
Throughout the world. And even just this country.
There's people still feel like that throughout the world.
Yes, absolutely.
It's black people that don't want to integrate with other black people.
That's another topic for another day.
Hey.
Dog, because that's ridiculous. Because you did send that link with, what's his name, Chris Broussard and Shannon Sharp.
Yeah.
Talking about the colorism.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, y'all tripping.
Anyway, we have talked about colorism. Y'all go check that out. We did 2 episodes.
Probably need to do a third.
I think we got, after that at gym today, we might have a third one coming on soon.
By the way.
Yes.
By the way.
We got with Chris Brown as a guest to defend himself.
Nah, this one might be better. I'm gonna tell you off air what this person said.
Yeah.
So we're moving on. I was looking on Instagram a couple days ago, and I saw a picture that a young lady posted. Mm-hmm. And in the picture, she said, she was commenting on herself. She said, "Ooh, I like them pretty and ghetto." And I was just thinking to myself, are we still here to where we are glorifying like a ghetto hood thuggish lifestyle? Like that is something to aspire to? Like for people who that's not their reality.
So I got one first. Well, how old was she?
She early 20s. Like she's young.
Okay.
That's your problem right now.
So I'm not that surprised at that. My honest opinion on it, I think when we were growing up, I do feel like we idolized hood culture probably more than they do now. Like now, I think these younger millennials and what's the next generation
It's
after
the
them?
cool kids.
Yeah, I think they just
be chilling.
Yeah, they different. I mean, you got these young thug types and all this type of stuff. Like to me, it ain't that hardcore hood stuff. Like I remember growing up, dudes that went to private school, was it middle class family and all that type of stuff. They were out there trying to sell drugs.
Yeah.
That type of stuff. I think the furthest I went, I used to like girls. I remember back in the day, a few girls had golds in their mouths and everything. You know what I'm saying? But that's the furthest I went with it.
You had a side goal infatuation.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just have that one side goal.
Nah, they had the two. They had the two.
You gotta have the two.
Yeah. You was out if you had the one.
Right. Yeah. Not one. I wasn't messing with nobody with one.
Okay.
There's
the side goal standards.
Yeah. So they had a few that had it, but I guess that was just the thing in New Orleans at the time. But that's the furthest I went with it. Like, I mean, of course, I had my jeans, sagging my jeans, Jabots, Rockaway, G-Nikes, white tees, all that type of stuff.
You wore your clothes that's way too
big for freshman year, I was wearing long tees.
LSU freshman year, to now, that boy went from bold, slim bro.
That boy went from a 3X to a medium.
Right.
But I guess you also have to separate out what is, fashion and...
Yeah.
And because, like
I wasn't going out there like, man, I'm trying to sell some drugs. Or, you know what I'm saying?
Because, big jeans and white tees, was that necessarily a drug thing? Was that a fashion statement?
But it's idolizing. It was a culture.
It's idolizing the
I don't think
culture
so.
of drug dealers. You wanted to.
True.
Yeah, it is a drug thing.
True.
It's you idolizing the culture of drug dealers. You wanted to seem more dangerous and down.
I think it was, we were looking at things like
cash money, no limit, Rough Riders.
What all they talk about? Drugs,
that,
drugs, guns, and hoops.
Wearing soldieries with the strap,
I think we needing about the West Coast with Pac.
Mm-hmm.
Everything was just,
We did think that was cool back then, though. We thought that
thug life.
yeah.
Because it was gangster. It was drugs and women and cars and bikes and
Think about
bling bling.
Yeah, money, clothes, the women, cars, mansions, parties.
Even if you wasn't living their life, you was appearing to live their life. So it ain't no different than what we was doing back in the day.
But I also think that in our culture, whatever's most popular, you kind of have to be part of that.
Yeah.
At a young age.
Yeah.
Because I feel like if you're different, like Childish Gambino, for instance, like, people are on him because I think he's dating a white girl or she's mixed or something like that. And people are on him about it, and he came out and said that, black women were never interested in him.
Yeah.
They were never really feeling him because he was different. He wasn't the normal type. He didn't fit that stereotype.
Yeah.
And it seemed like the stereotype is that hood dude. And I feel like to me, I feel like we glorify the hood stuff so much that anybody that's not outside of that is kind of like, when we were growing up, I should say, we were rejected. You know what I'm saying? So even if you didn't really want to be that way or dress that way, but you probably ended up doing it to fit in, that's what you did, because if you didn't, you probably would have felt somewhat rejected.
I don't know. I mean, I know that's definitely true to a certain extent. I think I was more of a non-conformist in high school. Chicks used to say I dressed preppy. But what I did worked for me.
Right.
I was one of the only cats, me and my brother, walking around in plaid pants.
The Carlton joints, huh?
Yeah, but
Yeah, I rocked that now. But in high school, I was anything but preppy.
It was South Louisiana.
the soldier rag.
Yeah, man, wearing the headband
Had
for
the
no
do-rag
reason.
on all the time, different colors.
I got the pick with the fist just stuck in my hair.
Yeah, I mean, man. I think, because I know growing up, I idolized Cash Money. And,
Well, everybody was into Cash Money.
Yeah, but being in New Orleans is different, though.
Yeah, well,
it's more heightened. Like, it's like,
But
this
even
is what
your
it
athletes
is.
look like that, too. Like Iverson was kind of starting the trend back then.
I won't say all the. Iverson to me was a little
Michael
different.
Vick, too.
I think.
But they were to me, they went all like Michael Jordan wasn't like that. Like a lot of people I saw in the 90s wasn't like that.
But when we was in high school, Michael Jordan was kind of like not really cool no more.
I think for me,
But even.
part of it was like, I felt like.
But a lot of this stuff gets established before high school.
True.
I felt like, and this is young me, by the way, so I feel like I'm not giving no kudos to somebody, like, just because. Like, I didn't have no respect for you if the only reason why, because, we measured, it was probably wrong, but at that point in our life, we measured our manhood by how many girls you could get.
Right.
Right.
So I didn't really have no respect for somebody because the only way you could get girls was being a thug or playing football or whatever. Like, to me, like, I wanted to separate myself from that.
Right. Now I got you.
That's real. We wouldn't necessarily think it like that, back where I come from. But that's an interesting thought. I never looked at it like that.
I mean, that's how I felt at that time. When I first got to college, that's probably the primary reason why I never wanted to pledge. Like, I didn't want to be associated with other cats. Like, I wanted to do my own thing.
Gotcha. Be independent.
Yeah.
All right.
There's that UGK influence.
Yeah.
That's what that is.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Right.
That's cool.
Right.
It just wasn't for me.
Right. Yeah, man. I don't know, but I think at this point in time, I don't think it's as bad as it was when we were growing up as far as people trying to idolize hood culture.
Yeah.
Because I feel like rap and all that stuff is different than what it... Like, I feel like when we were growing, it was like hardcore.
Well, yeah, they rapped about selling drugs and killing
and
people.
Right.
And now they rap about
I don't
nothing.
know. Right.
They still rap about it.
Oh,
Yeah,
I know they rap about using drugs.
right.
Rap about killing people.
And yeah, it's
Right here in BR.
Young
boy.
What my brother said on that podcast? We were the generation selling
yeah.
drugs.
Hey, we sold drugs.
They the ones using them.
Hey, that's kind of the case, man. That's kind of the case.
Look, man, I know we have got to take a break. You know, this we've been going for like 30 minutes. All right, y'all, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back with more right after this. All right, everybody, we are back. Man, did y'all know that July the 2nd was World UFO Day?
I didn't know it till you put it on the outline, bro.
Take me to your leader.
Y'all believe in aliens, man?
I do.
X-Files,
I do.
all that?
I think it is ridiculous to think that we are the only thing out here.
It's a big galaxy out there.
And it's been so many sightings. How you disprove so many sightings over the years? You telling me all these people crazy?
I don't know, man. I guess I never really thought about it.
Why can't you believe it?
I mean, it's not that I can't. It's like I just never really thought about it. Like I never was like, are aliens real? And been like,
you never was worried about getting anally probed.
I mean, that sounds as unpleasant as that sounds. I just never thought about it. I always thought that.
Well, you know, he has.
Hey man, don't say it.
Yeah.
All right, so I ain't even trying to be funny, but
yeah.
Why do you believe in God?
Why do I believe in God?
Dang, boy, getting deep.
Yeah, I mean, there's sufficient proof that there's a God that exists. Like I feel like if you believe in the Big Bang Theory, to me that's proof that God exists.
The Big Bang Theory.
The Big Bang Theory is not necessarily proof that God exists.
Well, let me tell you why. So the Big Bang Theory, in short, is particles moving that created this explosion and created the universe and everything, right?
Right.
So, but science, elementary school science tells you that an object that has no force applied to it will stay in that exact spot till the end of time. So for something to move in an immovable object, there has to have some type of force applied to it.
So
something had to move those particles.
Saying God clapped?
Something had to
But
move.
that's not indisputable evidence. There's indisputable evidence that aliens exist.
Like what? I haven't seen that.
Well, like,
I'm not saying it's not. I just haven't seen it.
Even the military is coming out saying they're releasing videos of them of things they're chasing, thinking it's
The military ain't releasing that.
Oh boy, they do have some Air Force videos released. They have some. But
the military not releasing that.
No, they had some fighter pilots release that video of them chasing what they thought was alien spaceships.
Yeah, I thought
news
you
to
were
me.
about to say they about to release footage of an actual alien.
But no, there are areas that's been proven that has this research. Everybody is not a conspiracy theorist.
There's no indisputable proof of anything.
But I'm just saying, just like what he says is indisputable proof, which isn't, can be said the same for aliens.
Well,
I'm not saying God doesn't exist, but I'm just saying, just like you believe in God, there could be something else out here.
You may not, you may not believe in Jesus Christ, but I feel like something had to move those particles. No, I'm not saying you don't. But what I'm saying is, to me, that proves that something had to start that.
That doesn't prove anything to me. That just proves something happened.
Something, but how did it start? You have to have something to move everything.
Could have been an alien.
Well, you know what?
The alien is God.
Yep,
there it
is. We solved everything in.
I ain't saying the alien started the universe, but I'm saying it could have been the alien who did the Big Bang Theory.
But who created the alien?
Nah, I ain't giving it no alien. I'm gonna say God did that. But yeah, I believe that aliens exist. Not that there's indisputable evidence of it, but I would say that it's indisputable evidence that there's millions of planets out there. That's documented by all scientists on this earth, and it to me, there's no way that God created all these planets, galaxies, star systems, and we're the only living organisms in all of it.
Yeah,
like, that's just hard to me to truly believe.
That's a legit thought. I can appreciate.
Now,
that.
what I will say is, I hope we don't never encounter no aliens. I feel like we're gonna lose. No. It's a wrap. No. it's a wrap.
We elected Donald Trump. I don't want to encounter no aliens.
So
he already put the money into
the thing is, the thing is, we gotta be the ones to go find the aliens. If they find us, it's a wrap.
We need to leave the aliens alone.
No, I feel like we need to leave them alone because if we go find them, they gonna follow us back.
No, but if we find them, that means we got the technology to find them, and they probably don't have the technology to find us.
Yeah,
that means that gives you the upper hand.
Yeah,
if they find us, they more advanced.
Yeah, yeah. If they come here,
yeah,
we couldn't get to them.
Right,
they been coming here though.
Exactly. That's why I say we don't need no full on assault.
Well, I hope that they keep observing and. Kidnapping one random person in
right.
the middle of nowhere.
Experimenting on them.
Yeah. Stay over there in Roswell.
Because the government is like Apple with the iPhone. We have the technology that we stole from the aliens. They're just going to keep releasing it at the 10, 10.5, the 7, 7.
So you're going to say the cell phones? You saying the cell phones is alien technology?
No, I'm comparing the two. You know how Apple already know what the iPhone 20 gonna look like. Yeah, they just keep giving you everything in between.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Tim Cook on iPhone 15 right now.
They just feed you everything slow.
I got
so we ain't ready for what the world know, what the military and what everybody else know about the alien technology. So we keep getting the new slow.
We all right.
I appreciate that point on technology.
NBA free agency, y'all. What do y'all think about the Pelicans right now?
Actually, I've really enjoyed what the Pelicans were able to do.
I see you. Look, if y'all can see him smile through this podcast.
Hey man, I think they building the team the right way. I like what David Griffin is doing. Trajan Langdon, swing catch, all of them. I like what the front office has been able to do. This actually looks like, for the first time since the Pelicans / Hornets been here, it looks like an actual basketball organization.
I agree with that.
I'll give you that, but I'm hoping they don't mess it up. I'm proud of what they're doing. New Orleans deserves a team like what it's getting right now, building, and hopefully they can keep Zion here. Hopefully they can keep the young talent around him to win and be here for years. And hopefully New Orleans can sustain a team like this because right now New Orleans is not an NBA town.
Yeah, but winning cures everything, right? So if you look at this roster, let's say, for example, Zion is not what people think he is, which I'm not 100% sure that he is. There's still a very good roster. Like that team could be a playoff team if you look at it.
No, he can come in and be an average player to me.
Yeah,
and still be a great team.
Because they went got what's his name, Derek Favors from the Jazz. You got J.J. Redick. That's what the Pelicans have been needing for years, of sharpshooter. Brandon Ingram can ball. Lonzo Ball is one of the better defensive guards in the league. Drew Holiday, they got the best defensive backcourt in the league. Then they got they drafted the center, who's kind of like a Tyson Chandler type of cat. Mm-hmm. They've done some good stuff. Josh Hart coming off the bench. They got a deep team. They got Okafor, who is a good offensive center, but he don't play no defense. But still, he's a solid piece. This is a good basketball roster that can grow. And in the next 2 or 3 years, they're going to be a very, very good basketball team, even in the Western Conference.
So it looks like, or at least it's been reported, and everybody's been saying that for KD, it's either Golden State, but more likely it's the Knicks.
KD's...
Now, can I set...
Let him finish, G.
Can I set it up? So, Kyrie went to the Brooklyn Nets, and KD went and followed him to the Brooklyn Nets. And so a lot of people are making it seem like
he followed.
He he followed Kyrie, and furthering that kind of soft, I want to go play with people type thing.
I don't think that's what happened. I think Kyrie just had his deal done first.
Well, honestly, in this day and time, I feel like, you got to have somebody to play with. So I don't fault Kevin Durant for wanting at least somebody else on the team.
Well, I think the bigger thing or at least what people are trying to make a big deal out of, is the fact that Kyrie went there first and then he went there, as opposed to Kyrie following him to the Knicks.
Yeah, I think they were already set on going to the Nets, and I think it was Kyrie to sign his deal first.
I agree.
People are reaching with that. Like, so
people are saying
people are saying it. I agree with you. I think that when they talked about possibly not giving them the max, the Knicks. Right. I think they lost it right then.
Oh, they definitely lost it right there. You right. You 100% right.
But making cry videos.
But what I will say though, I don't necessarily blame people getting on the Knicks.
Yeah.
But I don't necessarily blame them. Like, am I gonna give somebody a max contract?
Nobody's
had an Achilles.
Come back from an Achilles and been
like
the
I'm not giving you no max contract.
But what I'm saying is, if you will offer Kevin Durant something, you have to offer him the max.
I know.
Because somebody else is going to offer him the max.
That's fine.
So I would have felt better about the Knicks had the Knicks not offered him nothing at all.
All right.
No, I mean, I respect what they did. They offered him a
the Knicks
good
had
deal.
to come like that because the Knicks are building. They're still young and exciting. They changed the front office. They changed management, and they've been gaining momentum over the last 3 years. So what the hell do they got to lose? If they lose a max contract and they still losers with the Nets, if the Nets are still losers, as the Nets offering him a max contract, guess what? They're in the same position they've been in for the last years, right. But they still gaining momentum. They still.
Because the thing is, I guarantee you, if the Nets, if KD get hurt or he don't bounce back like everybody swearing he gonna bounce back, they not gonna do nothing with just Kyrie.
Well, they're not, especially since,
and they will be set back further,
right?
Than the Knicks would.
But my point is, I don't think that a team is necessarily wrong for not wanting to give Kevin Durant the max after the injury.
Mm-hmm.
All I'm saying is, if you're going to sign Kevin Durant, you have to give him the max to get him. Or if you don't offer him the max, there's no way that you're going to sign him.
KD left the Warriors because he wasn't going to get the max. Because him and Clay are not the same player with an injury. KD is an explosive player.
I don't agree with that.
Clay is a spot shooter. Clay is a pull-up shooter. No. Clay is a spot Clay can come back from his injury easier than KD because KD his quick step and his basketball moves are what make KD. Clay is still gonna be Clay whether he can move the same or not. He's a shooter. He can pull up from anywhere.
I don't disagree with that point, but what I am disagreeing with is the Warriors was gonna give him the max. The Warriors was gonna give Kevin Durant the max.
He had to leave the Warriors.
He had to leave for his legacy.
He was never going to get that respect.
And I also think that the reason why his deal took a little longer than Kyrie, because people were saying that the Warriors were interested in doing a sign and trade, so he might have there was a chance he still might have got the Supermax, and the Warriors would have got some type of value for Kevin Durant. So
they might have made it happen under the table because they still got D'Lo. They still got D'Lo. The Warriors got D'Lo, and the Nets got KD.
True, good point.
What about the Sixers?
I thought the Sixers did bad. I don't like what they did.
You tripping? I like what the Sixers did.
I like what they did.
I don't.
Now
they got a solid team.
Now it was a blow losing Jimmy Butler. Because offensively, they still kind of hurt him.
They lost Redick too,
and they lost Redick, but. Still, man, when you look at that length that they gonna have in their starting lineup,
yeah, like Richardson, the guy they got from Miami, he not trash. Harris or Tobias, whatever his name is.
I like the fact that they brought him back. Now, that was good.
He's a starter. Jimmy Butler averaged about 20 points or 21 points.
Well,
Tobias can get that. The thing is, you gotta look at them building on their potential. Forget Jimmy Butler. If Simmons just learned how to take a 15-foot jump shot, it's a wrap.
I mean, I agree, but the max though, Ben Simmons,
he was gonna get the max, dog. I'm sorry, you sound silly to say he wouldn't get the max.
You tripping?
Dude was just an all-star.
Dude can't shoot. He gonna give him a max contract?
Magic Johnson couldn't shoot, and you was gonna give him a max contract if he still played.
I'm gonna have to look at that, see if Magic Johnson commanded a bigger salary than everybody else.
At the time, I'm sure he did. He was the best player in the league.
You say that, but Mike didn't. Mike didn't get broke off till like 97.
That's Mike's fault.
That's my yeah.
But what I'm saying is you can't just assume Magic Johnson got all this money because Mike didn't get it. If anybody deserved it, it was Mike.
In the 80s, I'm sure Magic Johnson he was in the top threshold
and
of the
LA
players getting
was
paid.
a bigger market than Chicago.
I mean,
Yes.
okay, but I'm just
And
saying
ownership,
you can't
and
make
ownership
that
in Chicago was different than ownership in LA.
agreed, but you can't make the assumption that Magic was that high paid. If you don't
Bruh,
have
it's an
numbers.
easy assumption. He in any league, even with Jordan, he probably was still up there as far as top paid players. He might not have been number 1, but he wasn't like ranked 25th.
Jordan wasn't in the top 15 until 97. I can say that with a fact.
That's ownership, and that's his fault.
I'm not saying it's not his fault. I'm just saying that
And this is
you
a
can't just assume that Magic was paid.
Bruh. I think we need to Google this.
Oh, I'm already on it.
Well, while we Googling it, we just gonna move on. Cause firstly, I don't care what Magic made.
Larry
So
Bird.
what? How dumb? Cause all the free agents are getting scooped up.
Right.
So how dumb would the Lakers look if
Kawhi.
Kawhi, I keep doing it. If Kawhi ended up staying with Toronto or going to the Clippers, as far as them trying to fill out the rest of their roster.
They would look very
Well,
dumb.
it's dumb for a couple of reasons. Because I don't think they needed Kawhi anyway. Because I don't think he fit with LeBron. I just don't. Number 2, they have about 6 people on the roster right now? 6 or 7 people on the roster. You got LeBron. LeBron is probably the best player ever in year 17, right? He looks better than anybody else has looked this long into his career. So LeBron still could go out and get you some high production when healthy. Anthony Davis is the top tier talent as well. You got to put pieces around those guys. You got to have a good roster. You got to have some shooters. And by you putting all your chips in Kawhi's basket and not going to get those pieces, you cost yourself an opportunity to win a championship, because I think had they filled out the roster with solid players, they didn't need Kawhi to win the championship.
Because really, from a strategic standpoint, if he's going to stay in Toronto, or especially if he was going to go to the Clippers, where he was going to have to play them, much more frequently, then that would be like a great strategic decision. Like to string them along while everybody else picks up all the free agents.
No, I agree with that. I never thought about it from that perspective. That would be cool.
What do you think Kawhi's gonna do?
I think he's gonna stay.
I feel like he should stay, but where there's smoke, there's fire, and I think this whole Lakers Clippers thing is a little bit more realistic than what it should be.
So you say that his game don't work, like it don't match. So you don't think that they would be able to work out the kinks? Like you don't think 17 years in the game that LeBron would be willing to adjust his game a little bit?
This is what I think. Off of pure talent, they would make it to the championship. Just like when he played with Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh that first year, they made it to the championship, but they were still trying to figure out stuff their whole entire season. My thing is, with Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh, they were cool with deferring to LeBron.
Chris Bosh, more than anybody, really jeopardized his career and his legacy.
But he's still gonna go down as a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, but
I get what you're saying.
He's a much better player than what it looked like.
But the reason why that worked is because they all ended up deferring to LeBron.
Yeah.
To me, LeBron's not gonna give that up. Like he's not gonna be like,
so
okay.
You think he's too arrogant?
Because to me,
make the same sacrifice D Wade did.
Exactly. I think he wants to be the man to bring a championship back to LA. He wants to be up there with Kobe and Shaq and Magic.
Still chasing my
he still want that legacy. So I don't see him being like, all right, AD, this your team. Now that's how he should be. But he should be like, oh, AD, this your team.
That's what he said when he gave him the jersey.
But if he has AD and Kawhi, like let's say he goes on and gets 2, maybe 3 more rings before he get out of there.
He's still not the greatest.
He's still not Jordan.
He's still not getting the same respect.
Still not the greatest.
He's still not Jordan. But the only
ain't
way
even Kobe in my town.
The only way this would even work if they were able to sign Kawhi Like he would have to change his game completely.
He would be like
and
straight point
be
guard.
a point guard.
Straight point guard.
But not even an ISO point guard, because right now LeBron James is one of these ball dominant players in the league, and Kawhi needs the rock. I don't think Anthony Davis needs it as much, but they go bump heads.
But yeah, that's the thing. Like they would win, but I think eventually it's gonna cause too many chemistry issues.
Right.
Because AD's used to playing in a system.
Right.
Kawhi, he's used to playing in a system. LeBron is a system.
Right.
He's not used to playing in no real structured system. LeBron is a system.
Yeah.
And I don't see how AD and Kawhi would just do well in that for multiple years without there being some issues arising. They will win. They might win some championships. But I think there will be more issues personnel-wise where then they'd be like, look, I can't play with this dude no more. Because at the end of the day, I think they care about their legacy as well.
I think if I am Kawhi Leonard, I'm staying in Toronto.
Yeah.
But I'm never going to the Lakers. Like I would love to go to the Clippers. The Clippers have built up some nice little talent. Mm-hmm. Like they got the team ready made for a superstar to come in.
They got a good front office. The Lakers don't.
You know,
they got a good coach.
Yeah.
Lakers don't.
Lakers don't.
Hey,
Y'all don't. you
y'all-
know that.
y'all-
y'all
They got
y'all ain't gotta be on my head like that.
I'm a realist. I think the Lakers in the history of the game is the best franchise in the NBA. Realistically, at this particular moment in time, they're not even close. Because they got to get that front office cleaned up. They got to get them a good coach. So I actually
to come out of retirement.
I actually want the Lakers to do better. I think the NBA is better when franchises like the Lakers
Phil gotta
go good.
Phil got to go in the front office, or Phil got to come back to coach.
Nah, Phil was terrible in the front office in New York.
Phil was horrible in the front
one of the
That's because it
people,
was
he
New
just
York. His heart wasn't in New York.
he can go back.
That's where he
on-
played.
His heart wasn't in New York no more.
Phil Jackson
I
won
thought
2 titles as a
He
Knick.
was a Knick, but his heart ain't there.
But look, man, Phil, one of these people where he a coach and that's all he is. Just like Mike. Michael Jordan is the greatest basketball player to ever put on shorts, but he is a terrible
So
owner.
Phil got 13 rings.
Phil got 13 rings total. That's right.
And can even fit them rings on him.
He ain't getting 14.
We got to run 3. We got to work 3 on the same finger.
Yeah.
So let's move on because we have to hit this last topic because I think it's kind of an interesting issue. So Nike had got the Betsy Ross flag shoe, for the 4th. They started distributing it from what I understand.
Right.
And then they had to recall it after being confronted by Colin Kaepernick.
Right.
One, can we just admit that the shoes are kind of fly?
Yeah, they did look nice. Yeah.
And do y'all think that, like, this is an issue? Like, for the shoes to be out there? Like, should Colin Kaepernick have had an issue with the shoe?
Well, I feel like if you have an issue with the shoe, you ought to have an issue with the Philadelphia 76ers. Nike make all their gear. You ought to have an issue with their logo. Because if you look at it, the 76ers have this special City Edition jersey that has the 13 stars around the numbers. I mean, that's just a thing. I don't think that this should be an issue because that's part of history. It's the 13 colonies. Now, if it was something more directly attached to slavery, I'd have an issue with it. Like if they put a Confederate flag on the back of the shoes,
Well,
that'd be something that's a little different.
well, technically, it is attached to slavery.
How so?
Slavery was prevalent
In the 13
in 13 colonies.
But is that attached to the flag? Because I mean that to me that sounds like
The
same,
country was built off of slavery.
But it, not disagreeing.
3/5 of a person.
Not
The slaves built the White House.
not disagreeing.
Benjamin Banneker.
But what I'm
a
saying
slave,
is,
a free man.
All the
designed-
forefathers owned slaves.
I'm
So
just
even
saying.
if the flag isn't like saying directly, all right, this is a representation of slavery, everything underneath it was based on slavery.
But
Man,
then
the
if that's
man-
the case, we shouldn't put the current flag on the
The
shoe.
man that wrote the Declaration of Independence.
I'm just saying, like we shouldn't put the
On
current flag on
slaves.
anything if that's the case.
I'm not disagreeing with you. Just like I said earlier, where I draw the line with the Confederacy, that's treasonous.
Correct.
So why would you put that on anything in this country?
Mm-hmm.
And like I saw some interview, and what guy was saying, which I agree with. Like I don't have an issue. First I'll say I don't have an issue with kind of like having an issue with the shoe. My thing where my point comes in is like, all right, where do you draw the line? Because if you go to any country in the world, you go back 100 years, you're gonna find some not so nice stuff.
Yeah.
Like it just is what it is. So am I gonna go and protest every single thing from American history? Don't get me wrong. I guess as a black man, I'm just looking forward. Like I'm not necessarily focused on stuff that happened in the past.
Mm-hmm.
I take the lessons of the past and I just move forward. But I'm not gonna make a big, hoopla about a shoe with the 13 stars on the flag. Like I'm not. If it was a Confederate flag, I'm like hell no.
Right. I agree with that. Because if you look at the flag, that Betsy Ross flag, the difference between the Betsy Ross flag and the flag that we still use today as Americans is that they got more stars on it. They didn't change it because they didn't like the history behind it. They just put more stars because they added more states. Now the same flag is the same design, and it's the flag that we currently use today still has 13 stripes for the colonies.
But the thing is, the flag today technically does not represent or is not a representation or any kind of representation of slavery.
Well, it has the 13 stripes for the 13 colonies.
But it's 50 stars. And today...
But the stripes represent the colonies.
I understand that. But the current flag, even with the 13, it's still 50 stars on there. Okay. That current flag, slavery didn't exist with that current flag. The 13 colonies with the 13 stars, that's during the time where slavery was prevalent in this country, and this country was built off of slavery.
I understand what you're saying, but I understand he's saying
they
that
didn't
you still commemorating the 13.
They didn't change the flag.
No,
they just added stars to it.
I get that.
Now, if they had like a different flag.
I get that. I understand that. But even with that being said, I'm just looking at the time period. That specific flag with 13 stars, with 13 bars, that was during the time of slavery. Even if you go all the way up until 1865, whatever the flag looked at that point, that still will be considered a representation of slavery because that's what the flag was at that very point in time.
While I'm not necessarily disagreeing with you, but if that's the case, then we can't. The 4th of July shouldn't even be a thing.
Well, I was just finna try to tie this in.
Mm-hmm. You finally got the mic back.
I'm waiting on the opportunity. It's July 3rd today, ladies and gentlemen. Tomorrow is July 4th. I've been seeing posts, talking about, hey, dummies, don't celebrate July 4th because slaves wasn't free. Yes, we all know that in 1776, black people were still slaves.
Right.
But I also saw an interesting post where, somebody was like, come on, it's a day off. Like I don't know what you want. To me, it's not that serious. On whenever we have a day off, what we like to do, barbecue and play spades.
And tomorrow, Will Smith almost died for us, man.
The boy said Independence Day.
Will Smith almost died for our freedom from the aliens we was talking about earlier.
And the thing is, while I do understand that, okay, we were not free and the country had plenty of issues in 1776 on July 4th. Like, when black people get together, it ain't like we be like, oh, yeah, American independence.
Yeah.
We like, man, what's that barbecue hitting on?
We just happy
for the off day and chill and kick it with our people.
Right.
So...
We ain't running around with no 4th of July tees on.
Right. So, if somebody's going to sit there and say, hey, you should not do anything, you should just treat it like any other day. It's an off day, and if I can gather with my people, why wouldn't I do that?
But this will get me. People so
everything
American and anti-American ain't for the African American and go back to Africa. Man, you see what Africa do to us? It's a privilege to be here. It's some parts of the country you can't be free.
This might not be a popular.
Well, I'm gonna see where you're going before I respond.
Genocide is very prevalent in a lot of areas. And we have it hard here, but there's places that have it hard in every country, and even with us, we kill us. And I ain't saying the black on black crime, but we are trying to get away from us in other places. A lot of Africans ain't even free from their own people.
Well, I don't think our ancestors were free in Africa before they got here.
And that's true, because a lot of us got sold into slavery by us. Of course, it was people saying the devil offered us money for it, but...
Well, there are unstable environments all over the world.
Right.
Let's just try to keep in mind that Africa is an entire continent.
Yeah, I understand that.
It's an entire continent. You also have to realize that there is a lot of mischaracterization of things that go on in Africa.
This is true.
I'm not mischaracterizing
No,
everything.
But a lot of things are blown way out of proportion, more so than you think. And that's what the media feeds us about Africa. They always play Africa as this so dirt poor, downtrodden country any chance they get. So I don't necessarily buy into all the hype. Now, yes, there are issues in Africa, like the Sudan. You have things going on with terrorist attacks by various Muslim groups and stuff like that. And I mean, yes,
South Africa is notoriously racist.
Plenty of places in Africa are racist. I mean, it just depends on.
Louisiana is notoriously racist.
So it's not like
I'm just saying. There's when people say these things, like there's stuff that happens everywhere. So I'm just saying you shouldn't beat up everything that people want to celebrate here, because every place has its goods and its bad. So you shouldn't beat up on, when people want to celebrate Independence Day. Some people that is their Independence Day.
I guess I didn't see
and
why
they're being patriotic.
Well,
people, if people want to be patriotic, you shouldn't make them feel bad about being.
That's cool.
Patriotic about where they live.
That's cool. I didn't see why you brought in the Africa piece though.
I think, but I also think what we were saying earlier is, I don't see black people celebrating the 4th of July
as a major Independence Day or something.
It's like it's not like they treat it like Christmas.
Right.
They just glad to be able to get together.
Christmas is another.
But you get presents at Christmas. You don't get nothing for the 4th of July.
No, I'm just saying it's not like Thanksgiving or Christmas.
Right.
Or Easter, it's just a day off.
It's Thanksgiving in July. I don't know what you talking about, Brother Grubbs.
Right.
But I feel what he's saying though, because it's not celebrated like this. It's not looked at with the same type of excitement. It's like, oh, we off, we might as well do something.
When I see y'all tomorrow, I'm not gonna greet y'all like, "Hey, happy 4th of July."
Right.
But people do all right. So say you see somebody in public, and they be like, "Happy 4th." Like when I went to get a copy of Keys earlier. They was like, "Happy 4th," and I'm right back. Happy 4th. You're not about to be like, no, by humbug. I wasn't free. See? My point is people that go out of their way to be like,
okay,
if somebody does say it to you or somebody is like, okay, happy 4th of July, the people that go out of their way to be like, we wasn't free.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I feel that. I respect that. Yeah, I wouldn't.
Because people do say that in a general greeting, like, happy 4th to you.
Somebody told me that today. See?
That's my point of it. And I didn't mean to bring it up in that context of downing other countries or nothing, because I'm not. I'm just saying, just because something wasn't how we wanted it, doesn't mean that you have to browbeat somebody going forth every time they want to do something for something that you deem wasn't for us or wasn't in our best interest.
Right.
Nah, I totally understand what you're saying. I guess what I'm saying is, I'm just gonna speak about me personally.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that big of a deal to me. I'm looking for the opportunity to barbecue, play some spades, dominoes.
Barbecue forever, holiday.
That's all I'm saying.
Tell you what, last time we played spades, me and Stan got Jan Ruff off that table.
Y'all barely won. Y'all defeated us.
We barely won, Stan? I don't think we barely won.
Y'all won by 2 books.
You know what I remember?
What?
A W. That's all. That's all I need to remember.
We had the longest streak in the history of spades.
Hey man,
that's because we wasn't playing that often.
You only good for the last game.
You can have that W. That's cool.
All right.
I just refuse to believe that I will get the worst hand ever dealt for a whole game again. mention it.
That sounds like something losers say. I'm
you know
just
what?
saying.
We losers.
Yeah, until the next time we play.
Until tomorrow.
Y'all got that?
So, we'll see. We'll see.
What's up tomorrow?
Man, let's do it. We'll update y'all with the
Don't take
with
your
the
ball
results.
and go home.
Oh no,
I ain't that type.
I don't do that neither.
I ain't that type.
You know what? If y'all beat me tomorrow, I'm gonna say, hey, you know what? You got that, bro. I'm gonna shake your hand and then I'm gonna go fix me a drink.
No, I want you to say you're the greatest.
I'm not saying that.
That's
One little part there.
Right.
Yeah.
Sounds like
That's
call
not
me
happening.
daddy type stuff.
I'm trying to be a sportsman.
Hey,
I'm trying to be a sportsman.
I feel like if somebody ever get a Boston on me, I'm gonna tell them they the greatest.
Nope, I ain't telling nobody nothing.
You know, cause I've only ever had one Boston, and GP was the recipient. That's all I'm saying.
What the hell is a Boston?
13 books.
Yes,
I guess
you and Jarrell, accept that.
that's. I don't remember that.
I remember that.
We got all 13 books on y'all.
What he says there, that sound like loser talk.
All right.
I don't remember that.
All right, y'all. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with our Black prominent figures. You know we're going to do this all year round, not just during Black History Month. And we're going to give it to you right after this. We're back with this Black prominent figure. GP, who do you have for us, brother?
Well, brother, today is a bonus. I got 2 Black prominent figures for you, not one. But we're going to talk about Mike Williams and Laura Hinton. And those 2 brothers were the first Black football players on LSU's campus. They started LSU in 1971 as freshmen. Obviously, they couldn't play as freshmen back then. But they go to show you how Mr. Middleton's words were so strong and they worked, because it took 10 years after that letter for black players to be on the football team. But Mike Williams had to sit out as a freshman. As a sophomore, he started every game and was all SEC. You know, as a sophomore, that's pretty good, especially back then. And also Hinton, after he finished his degree at LSU, he stayed working at the university as a marshal for all the games at Tiger Stadium. And he says Saturday nights in Tiger Stadium are really, really hard to leave. So I think that proves true today.
Well, that's awesome, man. That's some good information to follow up that racist letter.
Took him 10 years.
So we cover racism, issues, within our culture and perception of ghetto, quote unquote. We cover aliens. We cover free agency.
That's a new one for us.
Side goals.
Like, y'all got a lot out of this episode. So you need to subscribe. You need to share this. You need to be following us on IG at The Reserve Man. And you need to be hitting us up with topics that you would like to hear about, because we read those and we do talk about them often.
Yep.
All right, everybody, that is it. We are out. We have to address this.
Here's the thing I don't understand.
Is that 3 months gross or 3 months after tax?
He was provoked.
You about to say some nonsense.
There's nothing wrong with a little coffee conversation.
Keep it key.
Next topic. Don't say more.